for how I stay motivated and the philosophy of motivation, where it comes from, how to create it, when it's necessary, when it's not, things like that. It's not always necessary to be, although, you know, the society does kind of project that. Sometimes you got to rest, but it takes wisdom to know when each is appropriate and which isn't. So, all right, I'm gonna give you guys a second to say if you guys are struggling with any motivation in anything or have a particular question about it. And if I don't see anything, I'm gonna just try to give you guys as much insight as possible.
Omar, do you want us to put it in the chat or do you want us to just chime
Yeah,
in?
if you got a mic, you could chime in. You ain't got to type it. We're good.
Okay, I can tell you something that I'm actively working on, or struggling with, rather, when it comes to motivation. It's, alhamdulillah, I've gotten into a situation where I can be very comfortable. And that's after so many years of struggle to get
I
to this
mean,
position, you know?
alhamdulillah.
And alhamdulillah, and it's such a blessing, but man, it can also be a curse because there's so many things that I want to do now, but I'm like, man, it feels so good to be comfortable. So it's kind of like how to get that spark again, and how to also overcome the fear of leaving that comfort for the discomfort of new things.
Right, right. Oh, beautifully put. Yeah, and you know what? I totally agree with you. I've actually recently been in that exact situation, so that's so great. Alhamdulillah. First off, that's kind of what we work for to some degree. We kick that thermostat, that motivation is kind of like the thermostat that kicks in. Like, I want to be comfortable. This temperature of life seems comfortable for me, and I'm gonna work until I get to the actual temperature of my life matches the thermostat that I set for it, right? And you're like, okay, I've been at this degree in my life that I'm comfortable. I got to that thermostat before, and and that is what life's about. It's about getting there, but the journey doesn't stop. It's in our nature to want to strive for more and see more, and I believe that's what you're referring to, right? You still have a desire for more, right? Is that correct? You could talk into them. I'm seeing
It
you.
is, yeah. It's that, it's like you said, you set that thermostat, and it's not okay. So I like the thermostat analogy, right? That I've been working, honestly, the thermostat analogy works perfectly. That, like, one day I'm going to make this salary and I'm going to have that comfortable job, and, and now I'm here and I'm realizing that, alhamdulillah, I've had that contentment throughout, which I think is a huge blessing. And so it's not so much a case of like, now I'm here and I'm not happy, but it's a case of like, now I'm here, and through over this time, I have been evolving as a human,
I
as a
mean,
person.
alhamdulillah.
And alhamdulillah, um, and so I want to fulfill my purpose, which is not being fulfilled in the cushy job, And it's like, do I stay in the cushy job and I know I'm comfortable here, I know I'm safe here,
Ooh,
you know?
I
Or
love
do
it.
I like, do I go, my purpose is there, and I feel like I'm always like jumping back into you know, the
Yeah.
fire or whatever, the
I'm
discomfort
telling
zone.
you. Yeah, 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 yeah. I hear you 100%, and I love it. Totally
And you
resonates.
know how people are. They're like, what are you even thinking right now? Like, you've got all this and you want to get uncomfortable again. Like, why would you do that? This is what everybody else is striving for. I'm like, I know, I was that person striving to get to there. And
Right.
it can be difficult. Sometimes it feels like I don't even want to share those types of goals with people because there's a lot of discouragement when it comes to it.
Yeah.
They're like,
Okay.
no, you're good, just stay there.
And this is important because this is what I'm about to say is like, for anybody, whether you're you're in that hurt in that hustle mode trying to get to that goal or not. This is the very important part, and I can't stress this enough. There's this quote that says, the good news is you came a long way. The bad news is you went the wrong way. And it's like, and this is something that like I like. It's one of my things. Like I like to measure twice and cut once. I like to really take my time and get it right the first, second time, and try not to a lot of us, we start going, 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 and we just never take that time to reflect, get to know ourselves, know who we are, know what we love, know where that fulfillment will be for us. Instead, we kind of get fast tracked by society into, pleasing whoever the parents are, so whatever it might be, and thinking we know what we want. And then we run into these, we're not in harmony with what we want. And that's what it comes down to. It's being in harmony. So, and that in itself is motivating. So you're already feeling, okay, I'm not. This is not it. Something's telling me. I thought this was it, but I ran all this way. But I see I still got some ways to go, and and you're just being honest with yourself. Alhamdulillah, that's great. So I'm so happy. I love helping people. You see, this is my purpose. You see how I light up when I'm in this, and I'm charged. Uh, so this is one sign. When you are in your purpose, you are charged. Energy comes from so many different avenues, food, whatever, but also from alignment, from what Allah has intended for us. And finding that. So that's the first step. And so I remember when I didn't know what I want. And I was like, I don't even know what I want. But I want to I know that I know that I want to know what I want. So that's where I started. So let me figure out, let me start experimenting, let me start to get to know myself. And that's what motivated me. Some of us could get stuck in that fight or flight or freeze. We're like, this is it. We get stuck. We don't go. And that's called the fixed mindset, where we don't believe in growth or change. But then some people are blessed, alhamdulillah, in the growth mindset, which is like, I can control this. Allah has blessed me with the ability to um, to inspire, impress myself upon my circumstances to affect the things around me. Although things also outside of us affect us, we can also affect the things that are outside of us with the proper control, which Islam is great at training us to do with that discipline. And there's so much wisdom in religion, alhamdulillah. But yeah, so are we on the right track, Nancy, with what you're talking about?
Yeah, that's definitely, we're on the right track, because it's, like you said, it's kind of fight or flight mode. And I think a lot of times when you think of like, is it, why am I blanking? Maslow's pyramid, right? The hierarchy, is that right? Sometimes you are in fight or flight mode because you are just trying to like meet your basic necessities,
Right.
And then as you're working your way up, you realize what you have the mental space to actually start thinking about what your purpose is. When you're just concerned about like paying your basic bills, right, and what I mean, putting food on the table, then you don't necessarily have that mental space.
I'm so happy you brought up that pyramid, because that is where the beginning of all motivation is survival. It's like fight or flight. We are in that limbic system. It's like survive, provide. Like I can't think of anything else until my needs are met. You literally can't. So you really didn't go the wrong way. I know I use that quote, but that is the natural circumstance of things. Is that we first go into survival, get our needs met, and then we can breathe, and then get to whatever, get to that space where we can, alhamdulillah, be in that space to figure out our purpose and whatnot, right? So
right, it's like the point to pivot at this point.
Pivot, right? So do you know which direction you want to go?
I don't know. I don't have like a totally clear picture in my head. I know what I'm passionate about, um, for sure. And but there's also like a few different things that really move me. So I want to do like what you just said a few minutes ago. What did you say? Measure twice, cut once type of thing, because I
Measure
don't want
twice
to.
and cut once, right?
Yeah, like I don't want to now be like, oh, well, I love XYZ thing, and then go into that, trajectory, and then find out that like, oh, you know what? Because actually, I'll tell you, like, that is something that I did about a year ago, because I was doing a lot of like helping people when it comes to finances and getting their credit scores to be better, and just getting to a place where they were learning how to save money and things like this. And I was doing that with friends and family. And then I said, you know what? A lot of people are saying, Nancy, we get so much benefit from this. Like, why don't you do it professionally? So like I built a website and started marketing for it and things like that. And I was like, oh, this is not what I want to do professionally at all. I
Beautiful.
got, it was something that I really like. I did it from my heart for the people that were close to me and that, had reached out to me. But as business, I wasn't interested, you know?
Right.
So, so now it's more of a case of going through the things that I'm passionate about and trying to figure out like, what is my purpose and what's the thing that, like you said, is going to really fire me up so that I'm excited about it whenever I do it. And it's not going to feel like I'm just something that I wake up dreading having to do, which is what started happening with that.
I want to help you. I'm going to help you. So,
Inshallah.
inshallah. Thank you. So, this is what I'm gonna do. Just for the fact that you spoke up and you had the courage to come out here and talk about it, I'm gonna give you some coaching sessions uh, for free. We're gonna explore this, and this is also as my gratitude for Muhammad and what he's doing, and this is my sadaqah. All right, so
MashaAllah.
this
Thank
is deep.
you.
This is a deep subject where I don't want to use all the time getting into that, but I got you. So
Thank you.
yeah, so I'll figure out how to get your Muhammad. You know how to contact her, or
Yes.
Yes, I got her digits. I got you, man.
great,
Yeah.
great. All right, so yeah, so we're gonna work on that. So I'm gonna
Thank
just
you.
talk a little bit more about motivation and whatnot. Hey Suzanne, is there any motivation? No, not you're not ready. All right, I'm not gonna put you on the spot.
Oh no,
Huh?
I accidentally unmuted it. I accidentally unmuted my mic, but I'm just gathering my thoughts as you guys discuss back and forth and.
Great. Okay, no problem. I'm just gonna keep talking, and I got a lot to say. I just want to make sure that I'm serving you guys to the best of my abilities. Famida, Bushra, Athman, any if I can cater to what you guys are feeling or whatever about, feel free to chime in at any point and as I talk. Okay. So, oh, where's my paper? Okay, cool. Here are the things that inspire motivation right here. All right. So, reality checks. Reality checks, right? So, we may not feel motivated because we have been deceived by the chief deceiver of the reality of our situation, not fully accepting the reality and looking at it and being able to admit what is true, what is not. And it takes courage and faith, because the reason we don't look at it is because we're afraid. So those reality checks will motivate you. I see. All right, cool, cool. We out here. We hitting stuff. All right. So those reality checks, you got to cash them in order to get any type of payment for your transfer to motivation. Use it. Pain plus reflection equals progress. But if we numb ourselves, a lot of people numb themselves with alcohol, drugs. Inshallah, none of our Muslim communities doing that. Got cast in reality checks, right? And what happens is we put smoke between us and our demons. And if we can't see them, if we don't have the courage to to slay them, then we can't get any, we can't evolve, we can't go anywhere in life. So yeah, have the courage to look at the reality as you did, Nancy. So great job. You looked at the reality, you admitted it to yourself, and I'm sure you are feeling that motivation. With you, it's just clarity. It seems like it's like you know what you want. You're motivated to know. You're motivated to get clear. And once you have that clarity, that motivation will just come like can't, especially when it's in your purpose, because it's going to pull you. It's not something you're going to have to push when you're in alignment. So that's also important to know when you take time to get clarity and you're in alignment, your purpose pulls you. You don't have to do much to force yourself to do it. So that's the importance of getting in alignment with your purpose. So Allah has created, two main motivations, pleasure and pain. And if we don't allow ourselves to feel either of those things by bottling up things, not talking about things, not cashing the reality checks, you're not going to feel motivation. And you're going to be out of alignment. And depending on how long you've held your breath, Allah is going to wake you up. One way or another, he's going to get you. He's going to get you. Yeah, and that's where the submission comes in. Submit or get that fire under your butt. So personally, I got tired of the fire touching my butt, so I was just like, let me get as far ahead as this fire as possible. And yeah, I took the time to get clear with my life, and I started to allow myself to feel that pleasure and that pain, because I noticed a long time I was running away from it in various ways through various techniques, whether it be escaping through video games or whatever it might be. Shaitan's tricks get clever and clever with new
Skillful
inventions.
disclosure.
Huh?
I said skillful disclosure.
Oh, skillful disclosure.
I'm not ready.
Right. I mean, yeah, no, and I don't care. I'm good. It's like we all been through something. So, and that's the beauty of it. So I'm not even going front like I'm perfect. I'm not. This is the perfect is in the progress. It's in my yeah, progress, not perfection. Got to remember that, because sometimes we think everything's got to go perfect, and our idea of perfect is perfect. It's not. Allah's idea of perfect in the Quran is, He says, "Look, I'm in the process of complete. I completed my favor upon, like my favor upon you will be completed." There's a process that He's putting us through, and it's progress. And really, it comes down to, why would He create Shaitan? Why? Like, that's something I asked when I was little, and I was like, why would Allah create some evil? And I'm like, and it took me a long time, but I was very determined to find the truth, and I realized, and Allah is infinitely wise, right? Obviously, He had a plan from that get go. So if I think from that perspective, I said, if Allah had a plan, and He knew Shaitan was going to do this, what was His purpose, right? What is this? What secret is this in the Quran that's trying to be revealed to me? And Allah says, look at the signs, right? So I started looking at the signs. I was like, all right, Allah, I know that you're the truth. At first, I was doubting Him like I knew something, but I was like, let me humble myself. I don't know nothing. So I started looking at nature, right? I was like, okay, nature. We see destruction. We see devastating. Like, why would Allah do any of this? And nature, when we look at busyness, if you break that word down, it's busyness. And when we look at business, the best business that has been in busyness in the world is nature. Nature has always been producing. It's always had a product. It started marketing. Marketing is how beautiful the fruit looks on the tree. The branding is the pattern of the leaf that we remember to associate with that tree, right? This is where business started, and every single one of us is an organization. That's where the word comes from: organism, organization. So when you think about that, it gets deep. It's like, there's this there's this heaven, there's this hell, there's this middle place, the test. Okay, why would they do something like that? Okay, so ironically, like playing video games and things like that, I was like, all right, there's this type, like, the wisest thing to do is to filter. Like, if you owned a business, you don't want just anybody coming into this organization that you built, this beautiful place called Eden, or heaven or paradise. You got to filter out the people who have bad souls, bad intents, and the people who have good ones, purified, right? And they can't elevate until that happens. So, how do you know? Well, they have to. I like to think of it as like Allah sends the secret shopper out, right? He got this cheap deceiver. Like, if you're working at Walmart and they're trying to filter out the bad clients or the bad employees, they're going to send someone to test you and be like, hey, they're going to act like, and this is Shaitan comes through everything, everyone, even ourselves. Sometimes he's unconsciously coming through us, testing someone else. And we're all subject to this. So, yeah, that's why he created the Shaitan, to test us, to purify us, to see which which of us are the most righteous, who can be in that beautiful place, who deserves it, whatever. And that's through evolution, trial and error. So when we become awakened to that and we start looking at, what is this situation trying to teach me? Not why is this happening and playing the victim, but saying, what is this trying to tell me? Or not what's happening to me, but what's happening for me? How can I take this L, the lesson, and turn it into a blessing, put it together and turn it into a blessing. And we can do that. Allah is, especially if we're on the right path, Allah will bless us. But some of us are blind, and that is my biggest fear. I said, oh Allah, please don't blind me. But once again, back to motivation. We're the two motivation is, you're either going to be motivated by the image of paradise, which right now, Nancy, you are comfortable now, and it's like, it can be better now. Alhamdulillah. Now that is your motivation of what it could be, because survival isn't so much at your butt anymore, which is like that hellfire, like under your butt, motivating you in a sense. But there's like these hidden principles that Allah puts in the Quran, and it says only those of understanding and wisdom will understand what I've put in here. And I've had to read the Quran every Ramadan in order to pick up on these patterns, which there's even wisdom in that. So, yeah, back to motivation. Why Allah created Shaitan, and also, or back to us being organizations and organisms, right? Big organizations like Chase or whatever, they got hackers trying to hack their system. And what they have to do is reinforce those weaknesses in that system in order to be a bigger, better, evolved corporation, right? And once again, we are organisms. So there's hackers trying to get at us all the time. And until we reinforce and see those patterns, if we don't evolve, those things will revolve. They will keep coming back up, revolve. If we don't evolve, then they revolve. So paying attention to what's repeating in my life. What is this? What can I do? How can I change me to pivot that? Or can I make the proper change and, to combat that pattern, that repeating cycle in my life, right? And what motivates you is you get fed up with it. You're like, I'm tired of this happening. Eventually, you blame others, or you take responsibility and you make the change in yourself. And that's where the word responsibility even comes in. Ability to respond, responsibility. So anyway, let me get back to some motivation hacks. Even though that clarity also helps motivate, because once again, Nancy, if we got clarity for you, that would motivate you. So that wasn't off topic too much. It's very much on topic. Sometimes we're so confused about why we're here, this, and that. Like for at least that was the thing for me. I had to go deep into spirituality because I was like, I don't want to make the wrong like alhamdulillah for Islam being instilled in my life early because I didn't want to do the wrong things. I mean I had that fear in my heart early, like well, it could be a possibility that this is all a test. Let me just keep it real with myself and not even front. Yeah, so yeah, so yeah, it is the reality, and that's what I mean by awakening. Once I got to that realization, that was my awakening. And once you awaken to the truth, that'll motivate you. And that's another thing in Islam. It's like reinforcing that belief of that heaven and hell. For me, what reinforces my belief is understanding and clarity. So I read a lot. I read a lot of books, different perspectives on the same subject to get like a 3D idea of what this whole subject is, getting a deeper grasp or understanding back to nature, the roots get a deep grasp on the subject, and those that get a deep enough grasp, when the test comes, the rain, the storms, the hurricane, those are the ones that stay durable, and they come every year in cycles. In the Quran, it says, "Do you not notice that you're tested once or twice a year?" And I was like, "Yeah, I noticed." And if you ain't noticed, you ain't acknowledging. You know what I mean? If the same test keeps coming up, you got to make a change and get some help with that. So, and that's what I kind of help people do. But yeah, go ahead, please.
So, what would you say? What would you say are like some of the things that stop people from wanting to get help? You know what I mean? Like,
well, yeah, that's, and I've always wondered that, but I don't think, but we refer back to the Quran. It's Allah puts a seal over people's hearts, like it's and a veil over their eyes, and that's a curse. And I'm terrified of that. And I feel like at one point I was that person who could not hear, who could not see,
Subhanallah, Subhanallah.
and the Quran has the wisdom, and it says, don't even tug on those people. Don't waste your time on those people. They're in the surah, he frowned and turned away. There was a blind man.
Yeah,
right. So there's the blind man tugging on the prophet, trying to get this wisdom. Allah didn't put the veil on him, but but the prophet was trying to talk to this rich man who just didn't want to hear it. And I get chills. I'm scared as fuck of being back in that darkness, man. I do not want to go there and be the blind one. And again, like, I try to acknowledge every fault that comes up for me and take responsibility constantly. I am terrified. That's what motivates me, because my life only got better. The promise of Allah was certainly true, and Shaitan was a liar, right? Oh, my life has gotten continuously better from, yeah, from following the word of Allah, stuff of Allah. So, external versus internal motivation. Now, I'm just going to get into some what I call hacks, because I'm a human potential coach. So we believe in biohacking and hacking our environment in order to, I call it sabotage the sabotager. I'm like, okay, like, I haven't been getting up in the morning like I want to. Why? Reflect. I sit back, I reflect, I journal on this. I'm like, what? God, I'm stuck right here. What's going on? Or I'll ask somebody, I'll get coaching myself. But some examples of hacking your environment was like, I'll give you an example of what I've done personally to get up early. to get into my routine so that I'm in my best energy, so I can stack all the odds in my favor. By being in my number one, you got to be in your best energy every day if you're going to get the best results. Because not being in a right energy will take you off of, will make you'll have your head down when that opportunity's right in front of you, or that answer's right in front of you, because you're tired, or you're weak, or you you just haven't been taking care of yourself. So it's called opportunity cost. And it's the cost of opportunity that a lot of people don't look into, but it's deep insight of, like, you know some of the important things that our dean tells us to do. It's like, it's opportunity cost. If we just do it, we stack the odds in our favor to be more successful. And that's why it says, become the successful. The people, that's what the adhan is about. Those people will be the successful. It says it in the Quran. And so anyway, back to hacking external and internal motivation. So I read a book called Willpower Doesn't Work. And, I think there's some deep wisdom in that, which we only have so much willpower during the day. And then the rest is relied on subconscious habits. So once we deplete that willpower, we're going back into old patterns. And the best way to change old patterns is to hack our environment, be aware of what are the triggers of those patterns. For example, if one of my patterns is like, I get distracted because I'll play video games too much, I'm a sabotager. I know that's my trigger. I'm going to put that out of sight, out of mind. So my subconscious doesn't even see it. I don't even get that idea. Or I'll make it more energy to do that by putting it in the car, really just taking responsibility for my environment, putting whatever that distraction is away from me, or uninstalling it, whatever, telling my wife, hey, take this or whatever, and just really keeping it real. Like, hey, I'm struggling with this. The case has been, take it. In the mornings, I have these things. There's this cool app, and we're in the age of technology, so we're running out of excuses, y'all. There's so much cool stuff out there that can help us, assist us in getting to our goals. I got this cool app. I wish I could tell you the name, but anyway, it's an app that you have to put both your fingerprints on it and spin around in order to turn off the alarm. Because I noticed I hit snooze too much. I'm like, all right, I'm hitting snooze. I don't have any will. I can't even fight Shaitan anymore. I was like, so how am I going to do this? This is taking extreme responsibility, man. This is making no excuses. I can figure this out. I will figure this out. I'm not with it. So, and I put my phone in the bathroom too. I'm like, I put my phone in the bathroom on the charger, so I have to get up out of bed in order to turn it off, or else it's just going to annoy the crap out of me. So I've sabotaged things into my favor to do what is right, not what is wrong. So I've sabotaged or hacked, we call it hacking, the environment, to make sure that you get what you need done. And then I know, okay, the next thing I learned, and that's why it's taking it day by day. It's like, okay, look at life as an experiment. Take it day by day. You're not going to get it perfect the first time. It took me a while to know myself enough to know what worked for me, for my formula. But then I was like, man, I don't even have the energy to get to my journal that I want to do every morning. So I have this energy drink set up next to my bed that I prepared the night before, because I know I'm just not going to have any willpower or energy to do that, to go make it. And then so I have it ready there. So I start just macking my excuses down. What else? What else you got, Shaitan? What else? And I to the point where it has to go my way for the most part, inshallah, of course. The only thing that can stop me is divine intervention, which then it's easy to accept that. It's like, okay, like, I was on you. Like, I did everything in my power and you still knocked me off. At least I can have acceptance with that situation, right? So yeah, these are like examples, and I want to leave it open for anybody to kind of add some questions or anything about motivation, or if we want to talk more about a specific situation, uh, we could talk about some solutions and really get to it. Anybody?
Do you
Fab
have a
enough.
hack for exercising or working out?
Yeah. Well, first off, I asked myself, what do I like? I mean, totally. I don't like lifting weights. I just don't. It's not what I want to do. I'm not even interested in being a bodybuilder. Okay, I'm okay with my physique. Uh, you gotta. Oh, this is another thing for motivation: identifying your why. And refining your why. Why do I want to exercise? If it's like for uh, a weak why, you're not going to do it. You're just not. You're sabotaged from the get go. You're not going to follow through with that goal. The why has to be deep. It has to be emotional. It has to resonate, or else you're not going to get to getting whatever that particular thing is done. My thing with working out is I bought like a VR headset. I was like, it's got to be fun. This shit's too boring for me. I got to, like I said, we're in the age of technology. The excuses are getting very narrow nowadays, especially when you have the resources and you have the money to afford something like that. I was like, I get in that VR and I play these very fun games. Um, and it gets hard for me not to work out. But my why to work out is not physique, it's to have energy to give people my best self and my business and everybody. Like, and there's something I call energetic hygiene too. Like, you're not in your best mood and your attitudes can stink literally, and everybody in the room can smell it. Like if somebody told you, hey man, you take a shower, you smelt yourself and you're like, oh man, I made everybody smell that. Same thing with our attitudes. It's energetic hygiene to work out. When we work out, we get our cortisol levels low, we increase our capacity to handle mental stress more. And that's my why. It's not even about me. It stops even being about me. And usually selfish reasons don't go deep enough. I can't even tell that I'm doing it. Dang, that's bad. uh, yeah. So yeah, that's something. Refining your why, taking your time to say why do I want to work out? What is the goal? Is it health? Is it energy? Is it looks? And then the way you refine your why is asking yourself why. About 5 or 6 times until you get to this emotional core of like, "Ooh, that shook me." So, for example, well, why do I want to work out? Well, I want to look better. Why do I want to look better? Because it'll make me feel more confident. Well, why do I want to feel more confident? Because I want to impact people better, or I want a better life. Well, why do I want a better life? Because I want to make an impact on the people around me that I love, and I want to see them happy. Well, why do you want to see them happy? Because that's what makes me happy, And then when you get to that point where it's like it starts to repeat, and you kind of like get to an emotional part where you're like, man, it could get to, well, my father didn't, make my people happy. He wasn't in my life. I want to be better. And then you start getting, I'm not going to get deep into my why, but you get the gist, you know. And then you got your why. And then you can remind yourself of that why, because we need reminders. It says in the Quran, man needs reminders. That's another key to motivation is knowing your why and reminding yourself of your why, which goes into hacking your environment. I might put my why right on my mirror in my bathroom so that I can uh, be reminded of why I'm on this mission of transformation, uh, until it's engraved in your soul and you never have to look at it again. but but shaitan makes us forget. So we have to remember to remind ourselves. And a lot of people think they're not going to forget, but we do forget. And that's another one of those reality checks. The reality is we forget, we lose track, we lose sight. We have to remind ourselves consciously, or sometimes it happens unconsciously. But taking more conscious control of your life is when you're living a more intentional life and you're being very hard on shaitan. Did that answer your question, Nancy? Yeah. So, but yeah, I've turned working out into cool things that I actually like, and COVID obviously stopped me from going to play basketball or doing the things that I really enjoy and can get lost in. But just finding that activity that challenges your mind and your body and whatnot. It could be anything. Mine was VR. That's one of them. Yours could be something different. You just got to experiment, just explore, and be honest with yourself. Don't feel like you got to force yourself through anything, because it's not true. I know that I believe in harmony, and to create paradise in our lives, we have to influence harmony in everything that we do, whether it be relationships, our career, our spouse, wherever. We have the power to say no, even if they're family members taking up all our energy or whatever. The Quran is very clear about some of our family. Noah's son. That was his blood son. Allah said, "Hey, no, he's not of you. He's not your son." He said so. And that's the beauty of Islam, is your brothers and sisters are those who share your faith. It's not your blood. It's like, hey, if you want to follow shaitan, I can't. I don't care what your blood is, and having the power to stand in that, and Allah will bless you for that. And sometimes you don't have the power to help certain people. Only Allah does, and that's when you got to let go, because they could be sapping your energy, and your energy is precious. And that's another thing, that motivation. You could be having your energy sapped by all these different things, that you're not really aware of. People feeding off your energy. So how you could have motive, but not have the energy to see that motive work. You see what I'm saying? So, and the stuff of the laws, any of my language is, I get passionate, and hopefully the benefit of this outweigh the bad. All we can do is pray for forgiveness.
I don't even know what you said, but
I don't know what I said, if I said something, but I'm saying the stuff of the law if I did, because I'm not perfect. Like, once again,
yeah.
Thing, I say something.
Please.
So it would be really nice to get some ideas of two things: how to protect your energy from the people that drain it, especially the ones that come looking like very innocent, but end up your energy distracting you in order, and them taking your energy so that they can get closer to what they want, but then they've ended up leaving. And the second thing is, in the very beginning, you talked about. Hold on a second. I'll find it here. Yeah, you said until you have the courage to admit your reality, you're not going to be aligned with your purpose. But the issue is that some of us are still trying to figure out what our reality is. What is a shortcut or an idea of how to bypass all of the conditioning that you've learned from your parents and from society, that you can.
No.
With yourself and admitting.
Okay, it's back. I'm sorry, you cut off for 1 second, so I didn't hear something you said.
Yeah.
Okay, how to bypass the positioning of what you learned from your parents. Okay, beautiful. Okay, he wrote it down, so that's good. I love it. Dang, I wish you would have said this earlier. We got 3 minutes. I mean, is it okay if we go a little bit over, Muhammad?
Yes, a little bit.
Okay, what is a little bit to you?
Don't worry, it'll shut off.
Okay, cool.
Arbitrarily.
All right, but I want to answer these.
Okay.
How to protect your energy from wolves in sheep's clothing. Well, number one, awareness. You know, being aware of who's. It sounds like you are aware to a degree, but also self-respect, boundaries, setting healthy boundaries, and not being ashamed of that, and not needing anything from them. If you don't need anything from them, that is not your path. Allah gives you signs of where your path is because Allah wants you to evolve. If something's not helping you evolve, it's not a part of your reality. It's not, because that is Allah's goal for us, is to keep on evolving. Look, this is not serving me. This is not helping me grow anymore. I'm not getting anything from it. Uh, there could be someone else that those people can help, that will be a win-win situation, that will be willing to help them, or whatever that situation. And you have to have the courage to let them go, find that, have that self-respect, because it's really your self-respect that's gonna, you have to hold your ground when it comes to those things. And you have to make sure, like, what do I feel like I need from them? Like, is it their acceptance? Is it what is it that keeps me doing that? And then work on that thing. So ask, why do I keep doing that? Like, and once again, that goes towards taking responsibility and looking at ourselves. And because we can only control ourselves, we can't control anybody outside of us. We can't control what they do. We can only control how we respond to what they do. And it could be like, I don't want to hurt their feelings, and I've been there too. So I read a book called Conscious Conversations, or Crucial Conversations. I wanted to know how I can really communicate my feelings to someone without hurting theirs, because I didn't want to hurt their feelings. But sometimes protecting your energy, you gotta say enough. Does that answer that question? Or do you have any more?
Like, beautiful, perfect, like, to the point answers. So yeah, I just took notes of what you said. I got it.
Alhamdulillah, alhamdulillah.
Sometimes it also helps to have validation from like-minded people as well. So,
Alhamdulillah. Yeah. That's another important thing. Surround yourself with good soil, which are the good people who add to your life, and don't, consciously create what you have. That's why you're here, alhamdulillah. So give yourself a pat on the back. Just continue to do more of that and less of the other thing, and you'll be right out of that. Eventually you'll be so busy with people who are like-minded, who understand you. And sometimes we can't even help people until we help ourselves. And sometimes we also silently give people permission to help themselves when we decide to help ourselves, right? So we're like, man, okay, you inspire me. I see you doing your thing. Lead by example, Okay, so how to bypass all the positioning of what you've learned from your parents. So having courage to let people go. Bypass all positioning you've learned from your parents. Understanding, seeking out, because these programs are deeply embedded. I'm still working on some of my programs, right? Understanding that they did their best to the best of their ability. Now it's our responsibility to update our operating system, right? So we got to look at ourselves like a computer. It's our operating system. Like, if we don't update our operating system, we're going to run into errors. If you don't click that update on that iPhone, some of your apps going to stop working. Some of the things in your life's going to stop working.
Yo, I just got to say, subhanAllah. That's a really dope analogy, bro. That's a really dope analogy. I'm about to jack that. I'll attribute it to
Please.
you.
No, attribute it to Allah.
Okay. I mean.
A lot. Like, this ain't for me. Like, yeah, this is from Allah, right? I said it.
That's actually really good, because it's the way it's like you're not discrediting how valuable that old system was back then.
Right.
But you got to like take the good from it and get the updates.
Right.
That's life, dope, bro.
Right. Life is changing, and if you ain't changing with it, you ain't on that level. So
that's awesome.
And if you ain't on that level, you're going to be running into some problems, and it's going to cause frustration until Allah forces you to update your operating system. And that's and it's not easy. You need help, right? That's what I do. I help update people's operating systems. You go deep, and they're like, why do I think that? Like, what is that pattern? And you take it one at a time, and Allah, and you pray to Allah to help you with that, and you watch for the signs after your prayer, and you follow it. So I'm giving you a free coaching session too, because you spoke up too. So let's go.
Okay. Hey man, I spoke up too, bro.
Yeah.
Okay, forget you then, bro. I know you live. I'm sending my goons to your house.
You already know, Muhammad. You already know you got it, bro. You should already know. All day. Yeah, man. So I'm sorry, Suzanne.
Nancy and I are sisters, so we got like a sister coaching session going on.
Alhamdulillah. Let's go. Hey, well, I'm very happy. I really appreciate you guys opening up, coming out here, showing your faces, going in, and takes courage. And inshallah, you are rewarded for that courage, and continue to do so.
I have a question.
Yeah, what's up? Salam alaikum.
Sorry, and I'm not saying to end it with this, but I always ask these questions because when you got the life coach, guru in your midst, you gotta ask these questions, bro.
Let's take advantage.
Hey, so I'm imagining that you have. I imagine that I'm looking at in the eyes of, like, let's say that some of the young folks who are coming up, who are likely going to see this video, and I'm curious to know. A lot of them talk about trying to find that person that they want to grow with and start a family with, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, and this is something that keeps coming up, questions that a lot of young people, young adults, young professionals ask, and even high schoolers also. But I want to focus more along the lines of people who are in a position to get married, I feel.
Mm-hmm.
So what would you say is the best way to, the best way to find, how do you find that perfect person that you're looking for? Or maybe perfect is too much, right?
Well, once again, that goes to your idea of perfect, right?
Yes.
Right, and that's like really where the discord happens. It's like your idea of perfect and Allah's idea of perfect are not aligned. So once again, you're not in a check. You're not back into reality. You're not grounded in reality. So you're gonna keep looking for stuff that's just totally not realistic. And if it does seem real to you, it's probably what they say, too good to be true. And then it's like, oh well, yeah, no, that's true. But anyway, let's identify perfect, right? In the eyes of Allah, like we want. This is what you probably should want. Is someone who can challenge you to be better, a better person in a gentle way, compassion, but you can learn compassion as well. Me and my wife, we're growing constantly. But I have so much compassion for her that it's like, but that also comes from myself. Once again, this comes back to the relationship. So let me start with this: getting the relationship with yourself right before you get into a relationship with someone else, and having an understanding with that will help you a lot in finding that. But a lot of that's not, only some of it's in your control. Allah is in control. I really had to pray for mine, but I also did the work and didn't tolerate anything less than what I felt like I deserved, and also worked up to the point I wasn't unrealistic. I didn't want in a partner what I wasn't already in myself, who wasn't on my level in some way. Not someone that I had to carry the weight of, but they were carrying their equal weight, and they were contributing to this relationship, which is in accordance to this mission. Usually it's a partnership. Back to business, your wife or your partner or your husband, that's your partner in life, that you have a goal, like you should have a similar life vision and have that life vision figured out for the most part. That will help Like sometimes you get that before, but then you can get back into alignment with your spouse, even if you got your spouse before, but we're talking about when we're getting that spouse. And this comes back to measuring twice and cutting once. Right? So to find that, these are just like prepare yourself for that. Make sure you're doing your best to be a good spouse, which if you want someone on their dean, you gotta be on your dean. Can't just be like, I want somebody on my dean on their dean and you ain't nowhere on your dean, and and that's once again a reality check, it's like do the work and be honest with yourself, which is hard, but it's harder. Keep getting your heart broken because you haven't done that work yet. So do the work, be patient, consistent. Don't be so desperate and needy, don't feel like you need that. Allah knows when you need that most. And honestly, when my wife came, I really felt tired. I really was like, Allah, I feel like I pressed as far as I can go by myself. Can you please bring this counterpart into my life? And I literally felt it in my soul that I did my best to work on the relationship with myself and on the things that I felt like, and I was just stuck at that point. And then I'm telling you, out of nowhere, like a meteor from the sky, she came back into my life, and
Mashallah.
alhamdulillah. But yeah, that's a big subject, kind of.
Yeah, I
We
try
could
to
do
wing it
we
in.
could we could do a whole thing on that.
You know what? Hey, you know what? Speaking of that, maybe perhaps your next session we can think
Yalla,
of.
I'm
We'll
out
talk
here.
about. Hey, and also once the stuff clears up, we got to bring you out for the in-person presentation also.
Inshallah.
Inshallah.
Yeah, I'm ready to serve, man. Let me get
I
this
mean,
sadaqah.
heavy, heavy.
Let me get this. And I do it because I know it comes back. I'm so selfish. You know? I know it does, so
No, that's real. That's real. Man, I must say, man, this is awesome, man. Seeing you from a little youngin running around the masjid, kicking up dust, to now a grown man. You know what I'm saying? Married, giving me marriage advice, man.
got a
SubhanAllah,
baby
man.
on the way,
Wait,
man.
wait, say it again. What?
Yep, forgot to tell you.
Dang, bro.
Yeah, gotta go. That's why I'm out here. I'm like, yo, let's get it.
Apparently someone already got it. So with that being said, we'll conclude. We'll conclude the show. Man, this was awesome. I want to say, bro, this is really awesome. I'm really digging this.
Well, thank you for the
Um,
opportunities, bro. Like
oh,
you're opening up this window, so Allah bless you for that as well.
I mean. So I want to know, is there anyone in this room who would like to close out with a prayer?
I can if
Bismillah. Let's do it.
like Al Fatiha.
Bismillah. Bismillah.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين آمين.
Wait.
Oh Allah, thank you for this beautiful opportunity to put light and wisdom in other people's life. And thank you for choosing me as your servant and giving me sight and helping me give other people sight and helping Muhammad, bringing me and Muhammad together in the unique ways that you did. You know what you do, Allah. Uh, Alhamdulillah, I'm very grateful, and we're all grateful. Allah, please provide more opportunities like this. Ameen.
And I just want to say something. I recognize that Al-Fatiha, man. That's that Imam Wali Fatiha, bro.
Yeah. Yep.
I
Yep.
got you, bro. I know that melody.
Yeah.
That Sam Cooke inspired joint, man.
Yeah.
MashaAllah.
It's embedded in me.
Wala darling.
And
Ah, yeah.
yeah.
Man,
Mhm.
this is awesome, man. This is awesome. So what I'm gonna do is cut the recording off,
Uh-huh.
and then what I'm saying, maybe might leave in a couple minutes or so, but for people to feel comfortable talking off the record
Sure.
if they want to. No pressure. I know people
Is
got
it
shit they
off?
wanna do. It's not off yet. It's finally.
Oh, I see it. I see it up
It's off
there.
yet. Now you can. Now we can drop
It's
the
it's off. It says it's still on mine. It says recording.
recording pause.
Oh, it says
Okay.
recording on mine. Trying to set me up, bro.
Oh, damn.
I was about to say something. No, it's play.
Okay, well.
But if
yeah.
it says recording pause, then I'm sure it is pause.
Okay. Well, okay. Pause on my end. So I think
Right.
there might be another recording going from the other admin. So yeah, we're still going. The recording is still going. So,
Okay.
so nothing too flavorful, but they can edit stuff out, man. You know, this is the end. You got to wind down, man. You got to be able to like, you know, shoot the. What's the word? Shoot the what? Sisters, can you help me out?
Shoot the.
I'm just messing with you.
Messenger?
Don't say that. Don't say that. Yeah, man, but that's pretty dope, man. MashaAllah. So
Right.
So where do you move? Where do you move at, man? Where you at now?
I'm in Pembroke Pines. It's basically between Miami and Fort Lauderdale.
I used to live in Pembroke Pines.
Really?
In Hollywood, yeah.
Yep, Hollywood. That's where I'm kind of at. You know, trying to make it out here in Hollywood. No, I was playing.
That was my joke when I used to do sales down there, and they'd be like, "Where?" Because I came down from New York. They're like, "You came from New York?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I went to the airport and I bought a ticket for Hollywood, California, but I ended up over here." And that was
Right.
my little.
That's hilarious. I know. I couldn't stop thinking about that. I'm like, man, I knew I would always get to
End up in
Hollywood. I
Hollywood.
just didn't know how.
You're trying to get your 15 minutes of fame in Hollywood, Florida.
Right. I got it right now. I'm all here. Got 4 eyes. We out here. That's
Alhamdulillah.
Alhamdulillah. Yeah. So what's up? Anything off? Well, never mind. We're not really totally off the books, but yeah. If there, I'm willing to go a little bit deeper. Got a little bit more time. If there's any more clarification on, did I hit that other one? How to bypass all of the positioning? You went pretty good, right?
Okay, I'll say this. Let's give it 5 more minutes. One last question. One last question. I have a question,
Please.
but if I'll defer to the sisters. You know what I'm saying? If, you know, Bushra didn't ask a question yet, so if Bushra wants to ask something, once again, that's Bushra's holding it down for Al-Hijrah, mashallah, doing an amazing work with the communications department, holding it down. When you see the dope flyer that was done,
Great. That was awesome.
Bushra did the thing. Vizzo, Allah bless her, man.
Good
Great
stuff,
job,
Bushra.
Bushra.
Yeah, I was
Mashallah.
impressed. Thank you, man.
I saw that flyer, bro. I was like, dang. Immediately, I put it on my wall, bro. Like I was like, man, she hooked that joint up, man.
I never seen a flyer in that.
Oh,
hey.
For real.
Yes.
So, okay, since y'all said y'all want to ask no questions. So, part of the reason why I ask these relationship questions is because I'm an aspiring, not necessarily, I guess it kind of ties into being like a life coach, I guess you could say, but more, so I'm trying to be like you when I grow up, essentially. But basically what it is more like matchmaking and type thing.
Yeah, that's beautiful.
And
so needed.
So a question I have, so what do you think is up with the brothers, man? I gotta ask this question on behalf of the sisters. Sisters won't ask these questions, but I gotta ask these questions.
The literally 2 sisters here both have that question.
Wait, there's 3 sisters. Because Bushra's here.
No, I'm saying like that. Suzanne and I are literally
blood sisters, right?
Blood sisters.
Oh,
and
yes.
And we're both single and wanting to get an answer to that.
Oh, okay.
Question. I don't know Bushra's situation. That's right.
I got some questions. I got some answers. Yeah.
I mean. So yeah, like so what's up with the men? Like what? I feel like there's so many. I mean, to be honest with you, there's a lot of brothers and there's a lot of sisters, both in the same community, talking about they want to get married. And in many of these instances, as far as from outside looking in, Allahu Alam, the reality, the brothers got the money. It's not like they don't have the financial brothers making good money. And sisters are making good money too. So oftentimes sisters killing the game, making more money than the brothers. Both making, the brothers making 80,000, the sisters making 100. Now, you know what I'm saying? But they both doing good, right? So I'm feeling like what's up with that? Like, why something doesn't strike me as being quite right with there being so many single brothers and so many single sisters, and yet both of them are saying they trying to get hooked up with one another. You know, how did that work, man? Break.
Yeah,
I'm just,
I
you know what
mean,
I'm saying, you're an expert on this.
yeah, money don't mean nothing really. I mean,
Facts.
to like, it could be just a test. It says in the Quran, it's just testing you. But honestly, what I believe the problem is, and I could speak from, it's affected me as well, so I could be vulnerable and say it. But social media, there's constant conditioning out here, what you think you should have, like as far as a woman looks like, or a bit, all this nonsense, of, and they don't even realize, and this goes back to those subconscious beliefs, that those things they're looking for something that's not in line with their the reality of what you need. There's what you want, what you need, and then you can have both. But what happens is there's something in like science, and like psychology, is called like the reticular activating system, right? So our subconscious tends to look for that thing that we keep talking about or whatever, and we program ourselves to, like, if we say we want this specific thing or whatever, we keep looking for that exact thing. Like, for example, this might have happened, like if you're looking for a particular car, and then all of a sudden you feel like that car's showing up everywhere. That's your reticular activating system at work, just noticing that thing that you've been conditioning it to look for. But then what you've conditioned yourself to look for and what's actually aligned with your spirit and what you need in life are two different things. Like, and you can't and and that's when and that's the wisdom of Islam, going back to the submission to the will of Allah, trusting the wisdom over your own desires, and understanding that there's a greater benefit in that, and also having examples. Who are you surrounding yourself with?
Facts.
It's like,
Facts, man.
what are you following on Instagram? And I'm gonna tell ladies right now, like, you could tell a lot about what's on a man's Instagram feed, right? It's like, what are you feeding your subconscious? What is constantly getting suggested to you? And you can pretty much sum up what they going through, and you can be like, no, that's gonna be problems down the road. That's wisdom right there, especially if they don't notice it. But I mean, I can tell you, I'm sure it's a case by case basis with each man, but it is who you're surrounding yourself with. And we are in America, and there's a majority of ignorance. Then there's more ignorance out here than there is wisdom, and that's why I love what you're doing, and you're bringing a community and tribe so that people like me can influence other individuals, and I can be around more like-minded individuals and kind of get people. That's kind of my mission, is to get these dudes on track. Like with Transformation Station, it kind of starts in the barbershop, and that's where a lot of ignorance tends to happen, is in the barbershop. I noticed, I'm like, man, these barbershops are ignorant, man. And a barber could be very influential on the, so it's their barbers, if we really want to boil it down to that. They barbers is ignorant, putting shit in their head, stuff in their head. But yeah, no, but it's surroundings. There was a point in my life where I just got to a point where I was like, this ain't working. These people around me ain't working. None of this is working. And I was like, what can I do about it? I need a mentor or something. I didn't have anybody to personally mentor me, but the library was full of mentors. And like I said, we're running out of excuses here. And on the day of judgment, you're like, well, you could have did this, but you didn't. And it's going to be testified against you. And I'm like, at the end, I'm going to plead my case. And I did everything I could think of, inshallah. And forgive me for the times where I didn't. And there are times when I don't. But yeah, I don't know. But all we can do is kind of bring brothers together. Maybe have a brothers group. Get these dudes aligned, and see what happens.
Nah, facts. That's actually dope. Rites of passage type stuff, man. That'd be dope.
Yeah.
I feel like Suzanne wanted to say something.
Oh yeah, Bismillah.
No, yeah, while you were speaking about social media, I was thinking about how, about media, of course, right? That's the cool thing that's making people have an unrealistic goal for what they want in someone.
Right.
But there's also like a very like double-sided, I think I don't know if I'm using this phrase right, but double-edged sword, because when you finally decide that you want to start to follow people that are aligned on the same beliefs as you, you have these Muslim power couples and perfect Muslims with 1.5 million followers, and you start to get again the incorrect. This is exactly what I need, and this is what a couple should look like, because you're seeing these can't go wrong perfect Muslim couples, and you start to doubt yourself.
Oh yeah, that's absolutely wrong.
Things, even say to yourself, you know what? I'm never gonna be like that. A guy who is, that high in his iman, he's never gonna look at someone like me, because those guys are looking for someone like that, and that's a result, in my opinion, of a lot of the, just
false advertisement
out there. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Yeah, I think it's a problem when people pretend to be perfect. Nobody's perfect.
Nobody's perfect.
They're just not showing it. And and it says to hide your sins in Islam, but we also can't make assumptions and assume that they're perfect and that that's what we're supposed to look like. And because Allah knows what you're supposed to look like better than we know what we're supposed to look like in that regard, as far as like, that your relationship is going to be totally unique to you, your soul's mission, all that, totally unique. If they're this perfect Instagram couple that happen to look good together, because maybe they were supposed to be inspiring people or influencing people, and that's why they got together. But there's in front of the scenes people and there's behind the scenes people, and everybody got their own purpose and everybody has their own functionalities. And you got the scientist couple that you'll never see online, but they're out there, but and there's no doubt, if you're on this earth, you are struggling with a lot. You ain't done. You're getting tested on this. It's a false assumption to think that they're even perfect and if they're putting on too much of that perfect, that is they need to
a red flag.
Not be so. Yeah, they need to not be so deceiving.
There's something that in the Quran where it talks about how do you think you're gonna call yourself a Muslim and that you won't be tested?
Yeah,
like you are going to be tested, and I would say, like, using my relationship with Lauren. Is this recording right now? Okay.
We won't tell Lauren, but it might go viral.
Yes. So next topic. What I was about to say is, no, I'm joking, but seriously though, it's like I realized that like a lot of times people talk about passion, people talk about like beauty, people talk about all these things, but I feel like another component to a relationship while you're in a relationship is also commitment, like in a sense of commitment. And I
commitment
think
to what, or to who?
Oh, commitment to the relationship that you have with the person.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, and also this trickles down, because it's like you can want something to work that's toxic. So that same